Tonight, the president's advisor and daughter make stops in Minnesota, touting manufacturing and inspiring some to protest.
Plus, Superior residents are masking up as the city's mandate goes into effect.
And Tobacco 21. After years of back and forth, Minnesota's legal age to buy tobacco goes up.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. The advisor to the president spent the day in Duluth today, vowing to fight for American jobs.
Ivanka Trump was in town and stopped by Duluth PAC to watch the owners of the business sign the Pledge to America's Workers Initiative. CBS3's Leon Valdez has more.
To see firsthand an unbelievable example of American excellence in manufacturing.
Ivanka Trump, advisor to President Donald Trump, applauded Duluth PAC Monday on what she called its example of American manufacturing and hard work. Ivanka Trump, along with U.S. Secretary of the Interior David Bernhardt and Congressman Pete Stauber, visited the century-old manufacturer to watch the owners sign the Pledge to America's Workers Initiative. President Donald Trump started the initiative 2 years ago.
To provide every American with an on-ramp to opportunity and to ensure that employers are making the commitment to their most valuable asset, which is the American worker.
Now, the Trump administration hopes other trade groups across the country also take the pledge.
We have been working closely with the private sector to make options known and to fund those options to enable people to explore the many ways that exist to acquire skills for high-demand jobs.
Ivanka Trump says investment in the Pledge to America's Workers Initiative is more important now than ever.
As so many people have been disconnected from the workforce, are experiencing tremendous vulnerability and fear.
Tom Siga, owner of the Duluth PAC, says he's proof of that. Siga says when the COVID-19 pandemic started, they had to lay off many employees.
It was a horrible day, the worst day that I've had in my career.
Siga pivoted and thought of a way to become an essential business by targeting a necessity.
We started making medical gowns.
Siga says Duluth PAC has more employees now than ever before.
We're going to continue to do what we've done for 138 consecutive years in business, and that is hire, support, educate, and train, most importantly, American workers.
Ivanka Trump says so far more than 440 companies have signed the pledge.
The visit sparked a small protest outside the Duluth PAC store earlier today.
That's where we find CBS3's John Cardinelli. And John, what were people's concerns today?
Kristen, around 50 protesters gathered out here earlier today, angry with Duluth PAC's decision to host Ivanka Trump, many of them saying that they now even view the company differently. Those out here this morning gave a variety of reasons for protesting, including the Trump administration's stance on mining projects, the missing and murdered indigenous women's crisis, and more. One protester told us that moving forward, she will more than likely not be supporting Duluth PAC.
Well, I mean, it's not like I'm going to burn my PACs, but unless they, seriously turn around, I'm probably not going to buy anything else from them, because I don't support companies that support Trump or anything that the administration stands for.
Save the Boundary Waters, a local organization aiming at preserving the boundary waters, also made a statement about today's visit. They wrote that the Trump administration is known for fast-tracking mining projects that they say pose a threat to the boundary waters. They added in part, quote, "Neither Ivanka Trump nor Interior Secretary David Bernhardt is a friend to Minnesota or Minnesotans. This administration shall be remembered for its efforts to destroy forever the cherished boundary waters, canoe area wilderness, Minnesota's greatest natural wonder." And now we asked Duluth PAC's owner to comment on the backlash that he faced today. He declined to comment, saying that today is purely about his workers. Coming up tonight at 10, we hear from one local business who has since decided to cut ties with Duluth PAC.
All right, John Cardinelli in Duluth for us tonight. Thanks, John.
Ivanka Trump also made a stop in Bloomington, Minnesota today. She took part in the grand opening of the first missing and murdered Native American cold case office. It's one of 7 planned offices. They're part of the president's 2019 executive order establishing a national missing and murdered Indigenous women task force. The office will review cold cases and better coordinate law enforcement resources. The Secretary of the Interior, who co-chairs the task force, says it's an effort to bring closure to families and combat the higher rates of violence Native women face.
In doing that, we're not only addressing the past, but a very important mission here is ensuring that we do things better in the future.
The visit was not without controversy. Minnesota State Representative Mary Knush-Podine posted on Facebook calling it a dog and pony show. She says no one told the state's legislators or Native women who worked to establish Minnesota's Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women Task Force. She said their voices were again not being acknowledged. Dave joins us for our first look at the weather tonight. Dave, rainy over the weekend, but a lot of sunshine out there today.
Yeah. Turnabout's fair play, as I always say. Things change around. That severe weather we were thinking would happen over the weekend primarily struck Wisconsin.
Okay.
From the Twin Ports here through towards the border with the Upper Peninsula, and eyeing up some of the rain totals, well, just outside of Duluth, 2.3 inches. Butternut made 3.4 inches. And bottom line is the heaviest rain was found in what's normally the snow belt during wintertime. This weekend it was the rain belt. And in Sawyer County, some of those chances for flash flooding did pay off, like around places like Coudray. But things are calming down. Tonight, just a slight chance for a few more showers from the tail end of that system here and there. And then tomorrow, high pressure settles in to bring sunshine pretty much for the week ahead, including Tuesday, which says partly cloudy all day long, high temp 77, pretty close to normal. The warm spell could be broken, at least for a while. We'll talk about that while coming up in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Starting today, you will be required to wear a face mask while out and about in Superior. The City Council voted on the mandate last week. People will have to wear a mask while indoors in public and on public transit. The rule also states you have to wear them in bars and restaurants except when actively eating or drinking. The requirement will expire September 25th or when the city's state of emergency ends. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, the statewide age to buy tobacco will change this weekend. Starting Saturday, the legal age to buy tobacco will raise from 18 to 21. It's part of the Tobacco 21 initiative, which aims to reduce smoking and to stop tobacco addiction before it starts among youth. State officials and smoke-free organizations say the law is a landmark for the state and is the first step in reversing the youth tobacco epidemic.
The stands were packed this weekend for Minnesota's largest outdoor rodeo. Despite state orders to limit crowds, thousands showed up for the 65th annual North Star Stampede Rodeo in Effie. The organizer waived the entrance fee, and those in attendance say they were there protesting capacity limits. The State Department of Health and the State Attorney General's office imposed a spectator limit at the 3-day event. The latest order from Governor Tim Walz limits outdoor events and entertainment to 250 people who are socially distanced.
More than 1,000 people have already registered for St. Louis County's free COVID-19 testing sessions this week. The 2-day drive-through setup will be held at the county fairgrounds in Chisholm. You can stop by between noon and 7 p.m. tomorrow or 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Wednesday. You are not required to have symptoms to be tested, but you are encouraged to register in advance. Douglas County is also holding free testing events this week. You can stop by the Superior Middle School between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Wednesday. There's another testing event from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Thursday at the Solon Springs Community Center.
A big endorsement for a sitting U.S. Senator. Minnesota's governor and lieutenant governor announced their support for Senator Tina Smith today. The Democrat was appointed to fill former Senator Al Franken's seat when he stepped down in 2017. Then she won a special election in 2018. Smith is being challenged by Republican and former U.S. Congressman Jason Lewis.
Target is joining Walmart in closing its stores on Thanksgiving Day. The decision ends a decade-long tradition of jump-starting Black Friday sales. The move, announced today, comes as stores are rethinking the Black Friday in-store doorbusters as they try to curb the spread of the coronavirus.
A Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin company just got a $2 million contract to dredge the Duluth Superior Harbor. The work will help ships to safely navigate in the Twin Ports. Reps for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers say the dredge material will also help with beach nourishment and habitat restoration. Officials say more than half of the dredge material will be placed on Interstate Island, right by the Blatnick Bridge. The rest will be put along the lakeside of Park Point's shoreline. Dredging starts in August and will be finished by mid-November. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, the pandemic quickly showcased the lack of internet access some families have. Now, one apartment complex is working to make sure everyone can get online.
Today's high temp hit 80 degrees, so still a little warmer than normal. But tomorrow we should get right where we need to be, around 77. Could stay that way for the week ahead. I'll talk about our next rain chance when that's coming around, coming up after the break.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 6 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3.
The nursing program at Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College is really challenging, but it has to be. It's approved by the Board of Nursing. And graduates here have been successfully passing the state board exam. They give you real-world experience with healthcare institutions across the community. I'm really glad I chose Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College.
Hello, I'm Steve Little, owner of Bath Planet. We are excited about the reopening of our economy, so in celebration, I'm extending our special financing offer until the end of July. Right now, we are offering 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 2 years, so you can get the work done now and not have to pay for it until 2022. This offer ends July 31st, so call us today or go online to take advantage of this amazing offer. Bath Planet, out of this world service and down to earth price.
Here at Cook Hospital, we are open for both emergency and elective patients. With our rigorous cleaning measures, we've created a safe space for our patients to seek care and feel at ease during their visits. Call us today to set up an appointment or visit us online at cookhospital.org.
Helping to make memories for generations. Numi Jewelers.
If you've been injured in a car accident, call Schwabel, Getz & Sieben today.
I never thought I would have to need an attorney. And then to make that phone call, I was terrified. And so to have Jim be so welcoming right from the beginning and so genuine and confident, everyone that I came in contact with through Schwabel, Getz & Sieben kept me at ease. I felt right away that I could trust them and that they were people that actually cared.
Call Schwabel, Getz & Sieben or visit us at schwabel.com for a free consultation.
This thing is really dusty.
I chose a career that isn't easy, it's dangerous, and it's hard. Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College has set me up with everything I need to succeed. Through challenging classes, longer defensive tactics training, and instructors who work in the industry, Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College is setting me up for success.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS 3.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS 3.
Meteorologist Dave Anderson with this 2:40 in the morning update on the weather. And it's been a bit rough in Wisconsin.
Down, it gets super dark. Oh, that crazy light.
Have a severe thunderstorm warning.
For the coverage you need, tune to Live, local, CBS 3.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS 3.
Now, the CBS 3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Higher pressures taking over, chasing away the rain of the weekend and bringing in sunshine. Take a look at this blue sky over Bayfield. Our old friend Paige Radio sent in that picture. She's a native of the Grand Rapids area, now working in Bayfield. And so the best of both worlds. And if you love the blue sky, that's a world we're going to be facing here for the rest of the week. Sure, there's a slight chance for a couple showers tonight, but once they go away in a couple of hours, then we're straight up blue sky, indeed, perhaps through Friday. Next rain chance may not come until Saturday or so. Here's what's coming around the mountain, if we have any mountain, Spirit Mountain here today with the current conditions at the airport. 78 degrees right now, 40% for the relative humidity with a west-northwest wind going 13 miles per hour, and our air pressure holding steady slightly on the lower side at 1,011 millibars. And it's down a little bit because there is a trough of lower pressure bringing sometimes some showers. And maybe we could get a couple more hours worth of that before it fades away. Current temperatures, we have 67 in Ironwood, 77 though in Ashland, and 79 degrees in Hayward. Superior's coming in with 77, and so is Moose Lake. 68 degrees closer to the lake in Two Harbors, mid-70s Silver Bay, and Ely and Orr and Hibbing. Grand Rapids too. Similar deal going on for International Falls. The big warm spell may be broken for a while because for the week ahead, I think most of our high temps will be in the 70s, near the normal of 77. Friday may be an exception where we go back to the lower 80s like Brainerd's at this hour. Right now, Doppler map showing that trough of lower pressure on the tail end of the weekend storm system is bringing showers and isolated thunderstorms to the arrowhead of Minnesota. Folks in Minnesota have a 30% chance for more of this till about 8 o'clock tonight. And then there's a 20% chance that this will survive the trip across Cooler Lake Superior. And we can see a few showers popping up in the Bayfield Peninsula. Folks in this neck of the woods might see a chance till about 10 o'clock tonight. Then the highs take over, control the upper part of our American nation here all the way through Friday with the sunshine coming across and the dry conditions. Saturday, this low pressure system may finally get close enough to us for a 40% chance for rain that might add up to about a quarter inch. So this storm system isn't going to be the big deal like we had in parts of Wisconsin. Well, just yesterday and Saturday. What do we get here tonight now, Minnesota-wise? Low temps will be in the 50s, 30% chance for a couple more hours of showers. And for Wisconsin and Michigan, 20% chance for the showers there. Lows in the 50s. Then tomorrow, high temps, upper 70s for Wisconsin and the UP. Clear to partly cloudy sky. Sunshine as well for Minnesota. Low 70s by the lake, mid to upper 70s inland. And eyeing up the extended forecast, mid to upper 70s through Thursday, low 80s on Friday. Then there's our rain chance on Saturday, which already leaves the picture by Sunday.
Whew. Look at that week ahead. As long as those dew points stay low, that is going to be
And I think they are.
Week.
The relative humidities will be down. The dew points will be down. So the actual absolute humidities will be down.
Sure.
No matter how you slice it, it's going to be a little bit drier.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Dave.
The COVID-19 pandemic has only magnified the nation's digital divide, especially for those already struggling to make ends meet.
Now, a Duluth apartment complex is able to offer more opportunity to its residents, many of whom struggle off and on with homelessness.
CBS3's Caitlin Moffitt reports.
When schools closed in Duluth and switched to online classes this spring, very few families living at the Steve O'Neill apartments had good or even any access to the internet. Abby Blaze and her 3 kids were among them.
You know, that is something my kids would always say, Mom, are you paying the Wi-Fi bill this month? You know, and sometimes money is tight.
But thanks to a grant from the Duluth Superior Community Foundation and other organizations, the 6-year-old apartments complex digital divide is now a thing of the past.
It's a big sigh of relief, especially with everything going on.
The Steve O'Neill complex includes 44 apartments for families that have struggled with homelessness.
The isolation that individuals in poverty already experience was just exacerbated.
Now, this funding will help give them reliable internet access.
The COVID pandemic really shed light on the fact that those living in poverty experience incredible inequities with education, health, and safety. And during the COVID pandemic, without having internet access, our children couldn't access their teachers or their online educational resources.
Along with internet access, each apartment was also given a refurbished laptop. Blaze says she's now at ease knowing if schools stay closed this fall, that her children will still be able to learn.
If for some reason we do have to stay home, for school next year, it's a huge relief to know that we'll be connected. And
with this Wi-Fi access, the Steve O'Neill Apartments programming can now continue virtually. CHUM, Community Action Duluth, UMD professor Dr. Molly Harney, Downtown Computer, and Spectrum all helped make the grant possible.
Coming up in sports, a member of the Vikings staff tests positive for COVID. How this could impact the return of football. Kelly tells us next.
The 2020 Yamaha XTR editions at RJ Sport and Cycle.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. The TED event is happening now, where you're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Got a tough job to tackle? New Holland has a full line of tractors to make sure you're ready to meet any challenge. From compact tractors and attachments to tractors ready to work on the farm, New Holland has the products and know-how to make sure you get the job done right the first time. With over 100 years of experience providing tractors for the home, farm, and everything in between, we have the solution to meet your demands. New Holland.
Serves you better than Lulich Implement.
It's the Jeep Summer Clearance Event at Duluth Dodge. Lease a new Cherokee Trailhawk for only $255 a month. Wow, $255 a month? Only at the new Duluth Dodge, 4755 Newland Trunk Highway, or DuluthDodgeMinnesota.com.
If 2020 teaches us anything, it's that public schools and educators stand for an important truth, that we're more alike than different, that we're stronger together, and that no matter what we look like or where we come from, our dreams deserve a chance. Believe in We Minnesota, electing lawmakers who will protect, not cut, this essential resource.
Always on the go, but want to keep up with the day's news? Don't worry. Now we are wherever you are. Traveling? No problem. Stream wherever, whenever with live local CBS3.
Keep scrolling. Order food. Skim headlines. Order shoes. Use AutoSend for flowers. Use AutoSend for birthdays. Don't go outside. Don't go outside. Don't leave the phone behind. No sync. Don't blink. Don't think. Don't ever let yourself feel this alive. Breathe. Ride.
At Starkovich Distributing in Virginia, we want you to be safe, so please don't drink and drive. Have a designated driver or call a cab. It's not worth the risk. You could get arrested or hurt yourself or others. Don't drink and drive.
Your local Minnesota Coors distributor reminds you not to drink and drive this holiday weekend. If you plan on drinking, plan ahead. It's not worth the risk.
The balances on your credit cards are worse than your yoga poses.
It's going to be a stretch to make those payments.
Call Consolidated Credit. They can lower your interest rates to get you out of debt fast without destroying your credit. The program works. Call Consolidated Credit. Call
1-800-322-8269. 1-800-322-8269.
As I sit here on this Monday, I really wish I were leading things off with the fact that the Twins led all of Major League Baseball in runs scored this past weekend. Unfortunately, that isn't the case. Just 1 weekend into the shortened MLB season, an outbreak of COVID-19 has hit the Miami Marlins. Their home opener tonight has been canceled. That's after a reported 14 players and staff members tested positive for the virus. The Marlins finished up their series in Philadelphia yesterday, and The Athletic reports that 7 of the 14 positive tests were indeed players. Major League Baseball returned to play just 4 days ago. The Marlins were scheduled to play tonight in Miami against the Baltimore Orioles. Due to the situation, the Philadelphia Phillies home game tonight against the New York Yankees has been reportedly postponed as well. So Major League Baseball is continuing to assess the situation, but as of now, other games will go on. The Twins are off today, but the Brewers are just underway in Pittsburgh. We'll have highlights from that game tonight at 10. The Minnesota Vikings had 4 players placed on the COVID list. That means either they tested positive or were around someone who tested positive for the virus. In addition, Vikings head athletic trainer Eric Sugarman has tested positive for the virus. The Vikings sent out a news release today saying that he and members of his family tested positive for the virus over this weekend. Sugarman said he and his family immediately quarantined after they tested positive and issued a statement saying, "At this time, we are all doing fine and experiencing only mild symptoms." The Vikings have sanitized the facility and notified any personnel who may have had close contact with him. According to the news release, those people have been tested as well. The team said Sugarman has not had close contact with the players recently, and no other cases have been identified in the Vikings front office at this time. Now, many colleges and conferences have announced their intentions to readjust schedules or even cancel their fall sports seasons. And earlier today, as a collective conference for the first time, the NSIC announced some big changes coming to their seasons. The conference will be pushing back the start dates of football as the board of directors unanimously approved a plan to move forward. This includes all of UMD athletics other than the men's and women's hockey teams. The opening of football and cross-country practice will now be moved back to September 2nd, with games beginning on September 26th. Women's volleyball and soccer practice have been pushed back to September 8th, with competitions beginning on October 2nd. They also just released new schedules, shortening the season from 10 games to 8. Their home opener has now been moved back to September 26th against Wayne State, which would have been week 3 of their original schedule. They proceeded against Moorhead, Mary, and Concordia St. Paul, then finished with Bemidji State, Minot State, Augustana, and Upper Iowa. Their heavyweight matchup against Minnesota State Mankato has been canceled. In addition, no division championships will be awarded this year. Only an overall NSIC champion will be crowned. As for the Bulldog volleyball team, their 20-match schedule shrinks to 15, and their September 15th opener against Wayne State shifts to October 2nd and will now be played against Minnesota State Mankato. Certainly a mixed bag of sports news today. That's going to do it for me right now. One more back tonight at 10. Kristen and Tony, I'll send it back to you for now.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. A lot going on in sports tonight. At a place called Red Lobster, finding a blue lobster in your tank is sure to make you do a double take.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened when an employee in Ohio saw this guy. His name is Claude. He's a rare blue American lobster. Only about 1 in every 2 million look like this, all because of a genetic anomaly. So instead of making the trip from tank to table, Claude's living it up in a special new tank at the Akron Zoo.
I didn't even know that that was a possibility. Blue lobsters. You learn something new every day. A lot of blue skies in the forecast too, huh, Dave?
Yeah, Tony, thanks to high pressure taking over, though clouds will try to mount a counterattack tonight with a 20 to 30% chance for some see-you-later showers. See you later, because the high really asserts itself Tuesday through Friday, bringing a sunny sky, bringing in less humid conditions and cooler conditions as well. Saturday will be perhaps the only rain chance for the next 7 days, and that's a 40% shot. It goes away as early as Sunday morning.
All right, not too shabby. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you again at 10 o'clock.